this guy doesn't need a suit of armor to have an iron punch. Welcome to WatchMojoo.com, and today we will explore the comic book origins of Daniel Rand, also known as the Iron Fist.
You should be using that magic fist of yours to crack heads, not to focus your feng shui.
Focusing my chi.
As with most comic book characters, there are often reimaginings and different versions to a character's past. We have chosen to primarily follow the storyline which unfolded in 1974's Marvel Premiere numbers 15 to 18, which was expanded upon in 2007's The Immortal Iron Fist numbers 3 to 4. The martial arts master known as Iron Fist was created in response to the kung fu craze of the 1970s. Iron Fist has supreme command of all forms of martial arts, as well as a secret weapon, the chi. With intense concentration, he can focus all of his energy into his fist, turning his body into a super weapon that can cut through almost anything. This is an ability that Iron Fist earned, and the tale of how he gained his power was told in a 1974 story arc. 4 people were on a dangerous expedition to find the legendary land of Kunlun. They were wealthy industrialist Welland Rand, his partner Harold Meacham, his wife Heather, and his son Danny. Meacham, who is in love with Heather, sends Wendell to his death. When Heather refuses to leave with him, Meacham abandons her and Danny to an icy fate. Danny and Heather find their way to Kunlun, but Heather sacrifices herself to a pack of hungry wolves so that her son may live. Danny is adopted by the citizens of Kunlun, a magical land of immortals with many ancient secrets. There, Danny is raised to be a mighty fighter by his teacher, Lei Kung the Thunderer. Under his tutelage, Danny grows to be an expert at combat. He even elects to fight the mighty dragon known as Shu Lao the Undying. By fighting the dragon and thrusting his hand into his heart, Danny gained the power of the Iron Fist. Eventually, Danny used that power to prove that he was the mightiest of all warriors in Kunlun. As such, he won the right to eat of the Tree of Immortality. However, Danny refused this honor, for his heart was filled with hatred for the man who killed his father. Rather than immortality, he chose to leave Kunlun to seek revenge. Before leaving, Danny also learned that UT, the leader of Kunlun, is in fact his father's brother. Danny, now known as Iron Fist, traveled to New York. After evading a series of deadly traps, he caught up with a now wheelchair-bound Meacham. After leaving Danny and his mother, Meacham suffered horrible frostbite and lost his legs. Meacham also knew that Danny had made it to Kunlun and was being trained as their new champion. He had lived in pain and fear all these years, but now he wanted Danny to kill him. Danny, however, now felt pity for old Meacham and left him alive. Iron Fist's origins were expanded upon in later years. In 2007, Danny learned that he was not the first to bear the title of Iron Fist. His predecessor, Orson Randall, was still alive and got in touch with Danny. Orson also told Danny that he knew his father in his youth and even trained with him in the arts of fighting. Orson, who had been born in Kunlun, introduced Wendell to that magical land, which is how Wendell knew of his existence. Although Orson had also gained the title of Iron Fist, he had become disillusioned and spent many years running away from his responsibilities. Through Orson, Danny learned that there were many who have taken on the mantle Iron Fist. Armed with greater knowledge of his heritage, Danny became an even more formidable fighter. Indeed, he came to see himself as a living weapon. With his incredible martial arts moves and near unstoppable power in his hands, Iron Fist is the very definition of an action hero. His appearances outside the comic book world add definite excitement to projects in other media. There is even a Netflix original series set to release in 2015, tying in with Daredevil and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Are you a fan of Iron Fist? For more comic book origins, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojoo.com.